Today we're going to be vibe coding our own little mobile application using the power of AI. So we're using this service called Abacus AI, Abacus AI Agent, and they give you access to all of the models, and you can make apps and games. And we're going to be making a mobile application, so build mobile apps where you can also do a QA engineer. You can make stock investments using it, Twitter engine, all of these kind of services that you can make agentically. So you won't have to do anything. They do have some example applications, so an app with Stripe payments, is Stripe integrated websites. So if you want to make some money making a website, they can do all this stuff for you. But what I want to try out is the build mobile app. You type in a prompt and it's going to give you all the code, and look, you've got your own little workout application. So the service here, you get all the options once you signed in, and I'm going to select apps and APIs, and we can see a mobile game. I'm going to go with a mobile game because usually games are the hardest things to do. There's so much logic and like real-time gameplay, 3D graphics, all this kind of crazy stuff that usually can go wrong. So this is going to cost me 1,500 credits. And by the way, you also get a referral. You can refer friends. So use that link if you want to sign up to these guys. So try it now. So let's just see, for 1,500 credits, can I make a game? So this is going to be building me a minimal but fully functional Candy Crush mobile app. Make sure to use poppy colors and keep the users engaged. And that is all the prompt that I need to do. Is that how easy it is? I say a native iOS Swift application. So we're going to get it to write iOS code. I'm going to take that code, put it into Xcode, and see if it can actually make me this Candy Crush style game. So it said it's going to provide me with a Swift source code, but I'm going to have to build it myself using Xcode, deploy it, and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. Otherwise, they can make me a mobile app that I can just run in the web browser on a phone. So I want native Swift. Native Swift. Now, all it is really, it looks like you just give it a nice little prompt and it makes it all for you. So I guess the 1,500 credits is kind of like an estimate for how much you're going to be using. So there you go. It's got a nice little to-do list. It's going to inspect the existing project structure. So it's going to be building this project. It's got home directory, Ubuntu. So it's kind of like a virtual private server. We got our own little home folder in the cloud making Candy Crush iOS. And it's going to implement the core logic, added Swift UI, and add in a README, run some basic tests to make sure that it works, and then give me the code so I can check it out and run it. And there you go, it's writing out the Swift code just as easy as that. Oh, this is really cool. So it's got like a README file on what it's actually going to go ahead and achieve. So it's describing exactly what it's going to make, what the project structure should be, and all the tasks you need to do to use it. And it's go ahead and just working through that README document and implementing the features one by one. All right, that was quick, too quick. It says done, I built it. Fully native Swift UI Candy Crush game is done. And it only took 354 credits. I know at the beginning it said 1,500. Maybe that was for a complicated feature. There is one thing you can do in the auto section over here. There is high effort and auto. So I chose the auto one, but I guess if you chose high effort, it would use a lot more credits. But for 300 credits, it's got the whole project structure. Now I just need to download it. So that's the file there, Candy Crush iOS. And I'm going to hit download, and we're going to see if it actually runs first try. And looking at the project structure, we can see that we've got a Swift application here. And there is no Xcode project. It says this project uses Xcode Gen for easy setup. Follow the instructions in README. So you got to install Xcode Gen. So we're going to terminal here. So brew install Xcode Gen. If you don't have brew installed, you can just go on the website and there's a script to install that. And this is the command that you run initially. I've already got brew installed, so it'll work for me. Next up, you enter in Candy Crush iOS and then type in Xcode Gen generate. So I'm gonna paste that in there, and it's created the Xcode project file. And that's it. You can go ahead and open it, select the iOS simulator, and it will run. So we now got the Xcode proj file. Gonna fire that up. We got it right on our screen, and select the iOS simulator. So I've got iOS 17. Let's run it on that and just hit run. So it says there's an error. It says it's missing an info.plist. So I'm going to paste it back into this engine. So this was the command actually. I'm just reading it. It says that I just need to change in generate info plist file build setting to yes. So probably if I go into Xcode here and then go into build settings, type in generate and generate info plist file. From no, I'm going to change that to yes. So I don't actually need to outsource my intelligence to solve this issue. Boom, build succeeded. Done, done, done. Will it have done it? Will it actually work? Hey, we got something on this. It's an actual iOS application. Swipe a candy to swap, match 3 plus to score. So I don't actually know how to play Candy Crush. So I'm going to say, can you change it to a Tetris game instead? Because I actually know how to play Tetris. If anyone knows how to play Candy Crush, just let me know how to play this. Or if it did actually run, is that how you're actually meant to use Candy Crush? I think you swipe. I'm swiping something. I just don't know if that's what's meant to be happening. Candy Crush is out there. Let me know if I'm doing it right or wrong, or if there's a bug in the code. But now I'm going to say, can you change it to a Tetris game instead? So hopefully it's still going to be iOS, and we're going to see if we just download the folder again and rerun the Xcode gen, or do I just change certain files, copy and paste? Let's see what it does. Oh, and I've actually switched it in the meantime to high effort. So it's going to use up more credits, but hopefully we'll get a more polished result. But the fact is, we did actually, easy as that, get something running on our iOS simulator. It actually compiled, it ran, there was a little error, but I read it and I fixed it myself. So it's giving me an option here. You can say, you can give it a React Native app, or it's going to give you the Swift code, but it's saying you're going to have to debug it yourself because it doesn't have access to a debugger at this stage. So I'm going to say Swift because I want to challenge it. I want to see if it can actually do some awesome stuff. I guess, you know, the app stores are now being flooded with these AI generated apps and games. So you guys could also contribute to that. All right, look at that. It's just printing out the README files, generated all the files, as you can see, block view, game board view. You can click it, you can see what it looks like. So it's definitely generated some Swift code. And finally, it's just doing a bit of syntax validation just to make sure that there isn't any obvious errors. And it spotted some errors. It says it's going to just review the files, and it's got one concern: on tap gesture and simultaneous gesture on the soft drop button could double fire. So it's going to simplify it, the control. So it went through, generated it, and then I guess that's what the high effort reasoning does. It double checks everything just to make sure that you've got the right solution. And that's it. It's happy with the code that it generated and updated and fixed. So it's got all the files here, 7 pieces. Now I'm not sure which AI it used to generate this application. It just says agent over here. But if you go on their main page in normal chats, you do get the option of using Claude, GPT, Grok, Kimi K 2.6, the latest one, GLM 5.1, all of the latest ones. What's Maverick doing on there? What's that one doing on there, you llamas? And Quen 3.6. So it's got all of the models. It's got the, you know, closed source ones and the open weight ones. And I guess with Root LLM, it kind of picks the best model for you. I guess maybe high reasoning will probably use a more credit using model, and normal one will use just an easier one to use. But let's just see, we want to see the quality of this, the result. So again, we'll go down and we'll CD Tetris, and then we'll do the code gen, and it's generated it just like that. Fire it up. I'm guessing we're gonna have to do the info situation again, info. And from no, I'm gonna change that to yes, and then it should compile and run. We should have Tetris playing on our iOS simulator. And look, it's running. This is awesome. Oh, that is cool. So I know how to play this game, so I can validate this one. I can say that this one works, and that looks kind of good. Now, what I want to do actually, I just want to see if we can do it, because there's a couple of ways to do this, is I want to see if we can convert that into a 3D Tetris game, because I guess maybe it is a bit laborious having to download the exact folder again and rerun. I guess it's not that hard. If I have to do that, I'll do that. So I'll see if it will follow this command, because the idea is all of the files lives inside this project folder that's accessible by the agent. So it should either tell me the file changes to make, or just ask me to re-download the files itself, and it won't have to make everything from scratch again. So it's thinking, I've still got it set to high effort. So while it's doing that, let's just do a little test. And let's see if we can actually make a line rotate. Boom, it worked. So it's giving me some options on how to do the 3D challenge. And one, you can do option A, pseudo 3D, and that's just a minimal change, one file. So that's good. It tells you an estimate of how much credits you're going to use. Or you can do isometric 3D, that's 2 to 3 files. That could also be done. And 3, 2 true 3D, which is 5 to 7 files. I'm just going to go with option A, and I asked it just provide that file for me to copy and paste in. And just like that, it says I'll read the existing file. It's made the code build in progress, and it's provided me the updated file. So I can just copy and paste that in. So let's hit copy, and we'll be updating block view. So paste that in there, save it, and rerun it. No compile errors. That's good. I guess all it's done is kind of like it gave a 3D effect on the actual lines, but no compile errors, and something had happened. So I said that is a win for me. So if you did want to do some iOS applications, we see that at least Tetris is working here. And don't forget, these guys with the agent stuff, they also give you access to chat LLM teams, and that has pretty much all of the models out there. It's got Minimax, it's got Kimi K2.6 GLM, and it's even got the big guys. It's got Grok, it's got GPT, and it's got Claude, Opus. Of course, those guys will use more credits. And you got image generation, video generation, all this kind of extra stuff, and that's just their system over here. So if you're interested, Abacus AI Agent, we just made an iOS application. Let me know what kind of applications you guys are going to be making. Hope you found this video useful and enjoyed the show.